All right. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Right at Home. Really excited to have everybody join and especially excited for our topic and guest today. Just by way of introduction, my name is Brady Schwab. I'm the Chief Growth and Strategic Operations Officer here at Right at Home. And it's really my pleasure today to welcome one of my colleagues from our business performance coaching team, Daniel Bourne. And today we're going to talk about performance groups and a little bit of how they operate, some details around our history with performance groups and where we're taking that organization today. Daniel, I'd love if you could introduce yourself to the group here.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Daniel Bourne. I'm a senior business performance coach here at Right at Home. I've been with the company about 7 years, working all 7 years in the coaching department, just helping owners build great, big, strong, profitable businesses.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, how many? You said seven years as a business performance coach. Tell me maybe a little bit about kind of the performance coaching to give us a little context as we talk a little bit more about performance groups.
Yeah, so with our coaching, we've got about 7 coaches that we all have an assigned portfolio of owners that we work with, spread out all over the country. And we meet with them monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, in some cases weekly or bi-weekly for some of the newer offices. And we just go over various KPIs, help them set goals, do some education around some of our best practices, just really work with them to, make sure they're following the right at home model and are successful business owners.
And Daniel, every franchise owner has access to a business performance coach. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. We start off with our Right Start business coaches who work with the owners to get them opened up, who are just new to the system, get them opened up and up and running. And then they transition over to one of the regular business coaches, and we kind of take it from there.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, so performance group, tell me what is a performance group?
Yeah, so a performance group is a group of owners that we put together who meet 4 times a year. We meet twice virtually, twice in person, and it's similar to like a mastermind group or a BNI group, to where you're just working on goal setting, you're working on best practices, you're leaning on each other to help solve any burning issues that you may have. Um, and yeah, just working together to achieve your goals.
You talked a little bit about burning issues. Tell us a little bit about how these performance group meetings are structured. Is there a typical approach? Is there a normal cadence? What does that typically look like? You said there's 4 meetings per year, 2 virtual, 2 in person. But what do those meetings look like?
Yeah, so each group selects 1 or 2 people, sometimes more, for an agenda committee. And we have a few standard pieces that are across all of the performance groups and every meeting that they have. It is a general office update, what's been happening in that last quarter. Then it goes into, we'll have bright ideas. So what's worked well in their area or market, whether it's a new process, new technology, just something new that they've done that has worked really well. And then we talk about burning issues. And the burning issues is something that they may be struggling with, or something that they're looking for feedback from the other group members who may have either had a similar experience or gone through a similar issue. And then lastly, the last main component is just goal setting. So we usually end the meeting with, okay, what are my commitments to the group that I'm going to accomplish? What are the goals that I'm looking for doing within that next quarter?
Cool. And how does that kind of work together with the regular coaching? Is it an extension of that? Is it really building on what is happening on the regular coaching? How would you describe that?
Yeah, so it kind of builds on it, kind of both ways. So the way we're structured, if you are in a performance group, you're assigned a facilitator. I'm one of the facilitators of multiple groups, and then I am also their business coach. So if you're in a performance group, your facilitator is also your business coach, and so I know exactly what you're trying to strive to get. And so on my monthly calls, or if I just get a call or a text one off from an owner, I know what they're working towards, and I can help them achieve whatever goal or commitment that they've placed for the group.
So it sounds like it really fits in nicely and is maybe turbocharging the coaching or being able to bring some other perspectives into the coaching and allows you to have a lot of consistency with the franchisees that you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. And within these performance groups, these owners get super close, and the whole idea is to be super open and vulnerable about your business and what's going on and what's happening. And so that gives us as a facilitator and business coach a lot greater insight to what's really happening in the business. And even some of my groups will meet in somebody's office. And so you get an even deeper look as far as what's really happening. And so, yeah, it definitely works hand in hand and gives us a lot better insight for our coaching.
So it sounds like folks get really roll up their sleeves. They really kind of share all the good, bad, and ugly about running a business and the challenges both in the industry and in particular markets. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would say most of our performance group owners, owners that are in performance groups, are some of our more engaged. They're some of the more involved in their business, and performance groups is a commitment because again, you're meeting 4 times a year. There's some pre-work to it. There's accountability. There's tracking, all that stuff. So you have to really be intensely involved in your business and the growth of your business.
So if I'm a new franchise owner with a new territory, what are some of the things that what are the prerequisites for joining a performance group? Maybe first of all.
Yeah. So right now we like our owners to have been in business at least 1 year, and then we have a financial training course called Profit Mastery that we require all owners to take in order to join a performance group. And outside of that, really, it's just finding the right match for the group that is based off of what you're looking to accomplish in your market and what's going on in your area.
So obviously that the expectation of being in the business for a year, that's to help everybody get their feet underneath them, and if they're not coming from the industry, maybe versus having experience in the industry gives everybody an opportunity to understand the business from a day-to-day perspective. You talked about profit mastery. What from a foundational perspective, from a growth and development perspective, what does that bring to a franchisee? In general, but also, as you step into the role of being part of a performance group.
Yeah, so profit mastery just gives you a good basis on financials. And we have owners who have business backgrounds, have owned other businesses, and then we have owners who have not, and they don't have experience with that. So it gives them really good foundation of how, say, cash flows through the business, what an income statement is, how it looks, balance sheets, financial terms. It really just helps lay the foundation for us. So we're all the groups and all the members are talking the same language essentially.
Yeah, great. Now we've got a couple questions that have come in. The first is, are the franchisees in the performance group all from the same area?
Not normally. So we do have two state-specific groups. There's one in Texas and one in California. All of our other groups, which we've got about 14 total, and all the other groups, it is owners from all over the country. I've got some that have, you've got an owner in New York and an owner in California and everywhere in between. So it's not necessarily regionally based. It's we try to base it off of personalities, goals, skill sets, those types of things.
Yeah, great. I've got another question here, and this is a really interesting one. What if I'm not comfortable sharing all of my financials with others? How can I ensure they won't tell others outside of our group about my business?
Yes. So we do, every member of our group and corporate staff who are involved signed an NDA. So you are not allowed to share any financials or really anything discussed in the group outside of the group to other owners, to anybody really. And so we do that just as for that protection, because you are sharing intimate financial details, compensation, profit and loss, et cetera, et cetera. So we take that pretty seriously. And if we do find that, there might be a violation or something like that, that person is removed from the group.
Yeah. So I think this is a really interesting question, and one of the things I was going to ask you, Daniel, thinking about I met those requirements. I've been been a right at home franchisee for at least a year. I've taken profit mastery. How do I get, what kind of mindset should I bring into a performance group? What do I need to do to prepare, maybe individually? And then, also interested in understanding, from the preparation for the content of the performance group meeting, what do I need to do? But, maybe just thinking about the mindset of, some of the sharing and preparation for this, talking about my business and, really uh, warts and all.
Yeah, we try to, from a business coaching standpoint, so those that are not in a performance group who have a business coach, we try, and if they express interest in joining, that business coach will help prepare them from a content, from a what the conversations look, sound, feel like. Uh, every coach that we have has had a performance group at some point in time, so we all know what to expect and how we're doing it. We also meet and do some trainings amongst each other as say content or different things like that change. So you can lean on your business coach to help from a preparation standpoint. From an individual side of things, I would say you have to just make sure you can take that time away, uninterrupted time away from the office. So you have to be in a good place from that standpoint. So the virtual meetings, you're looking at around 4 hours on a Zoom call, and it is advised and best to not have any distractions, people coming in asking questions, having to answer other phone calls, different things like that. And then from an in-person standpoint, we generally meet a day to 2 days, day and a half to 2 days, I would say, um, in person. And again, you have to be able to have the time set aside to be able to commit to the full either day and a half or 2 days plus travel, getting to whatever location is selected, uh, away from the business. Outside of that, the profit mastery piece, that helps you prepare from a financial side. It is always best to make sure you have good processes for keeping your financials in order and up to date. That way, we have a separate dashboard that we utilize that you have to enter some data into, that other data automatically flows into. And so I would say individually, you have the ability to have the time set aside, and then make sure your financials are always in order.
Yep. We've got a couple more questions that have come in. One is there a franchisee performance difference between owners that are in performance group versus owners that are not?
Yeah, so I can tell you anecdotally, any owner that's in a performance group has said their business has improved. from joining or being in a performance group, either mindset, ideas, processes, efficiencies, everything like that. Um, I would say from an actual numbers standpoint, we're actually working on a benchmark study to be able to prove some additional things. However, our performance group members outperformed the system last year by, I think, 3% in revenue. Um, I've got a couple other owners, they did their own kind of case study, and one of them, he improved margins, I think, 4.5% based off of the feedback of the group. Um, I would say some of the top owners that I know of, and this is just looking at year 2023 to 2024. If I look at individual growth, I had probably 3 of the top 5 owners from a growth percentage that were in performance groups compared to not.
Yeah, there's a number of different ways to look at, kind of performance, right? There's overall revenue, there's profitability, there's year-over-year growth, there's kind of growing your business through different kind of as you scale it and as you look to bring on new talents and capabilities and how that impacts you as an owner. I would assume that one of the benefits of the performance group is you get to talk about that strategy wherever you are in your business cycle and arc of business. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And you had mentioned profitability, and that is kind of one of the cornerstones of the performance groups. It is to drive uh, owner's discretionary profit. It is to drive bottom line profitability of the business. Um, Obviously, growing revenue is easy to do from a tracking standpoint and kind of the first part of profitability, but the overall kind of goal is to create a higher net income or owner's discretionary profit.
Yeah. And what an opportunity to dig in with other owners really focused on that. And one of the questions that just came in is performance group just for owners, or is it for operations managers, another principal in the business?
Currently, it is just for owners. You have to have, there are a few exceptions where they've been, a smaller percentage owner has been voted in. Uh, Generally, the standard is a 25% owner or greater. And we do have a couple that are 10% owner, but they're more or less operating the business. So they've been voted in by by a group to participate.
Yeah. And obviously with the type of discussions that are happening at a real high level, strategic, really getting into the details of the business, you need folks that can make decisions that have impacts on the business. They need to understand all aspects of the business. So I can see why that would be so important. Um, Another question that came in, and we talked a little bit about, how do I join a performance group? But, let's say I'm an owner, I've been here a year. Do I just get to choose which group I join, or what is that process to find the group that I ultimately join?
Yeah, so we have a profile that you fill out. It's just basic information about you and about the business, a little bit about your background, those types of things. And then you let your coach know that you want to fill that out. You fill it out, kind of goes into a pool, and then um, the facilitators basically look at the groups that they have and who is out in that pool of owners wanting to join. And we kind of do a little bit of matching on the back end based off of, that person's experience, how their business is set up, all of those types of things. And then we essentially pitch the owner who wants to join to the group if they have space. And that group will normally do a couple interviews just to make sure personality, expectations, everything like that fits. And it goes both ways. The person who wants to join the group is also making sure that these are people that they can trust to open up their books to, open up what they want to talk about to. And so it goes both ways on that. And we just kind of work through that process to see who matches and who fits together.
And kind of finding that personality of a performance group, when I appreciate how it's groups finding the right members and members finding the right group, right? It's got to be the right combination. And how many groups does Right at Home have right now in terms of performance groups?
We are currently up to 14 groups.
So 14 groups, lots of opportunity to find a group that is a good match from a business perspective or personality perspective. You mentioned there's 2 meetings per year, in person, 2 virtual. Are in-person meetings always here in Omaha at the corporate office or other places?
Uh, Most of them are other places. So at the end of, we have different cadences for when we choose when and where the in-persons are. Generally, we go every other quarter. So say first quarter's in person, then second quarter would be virtual, third's in person, fourth quarter's virtual. Uh, what they do is really the owners kind of just get together, usually at our in person, and people start throwing out ideas of where they would like to go for their next meeting. And we usually vote on it, come to an agreement as to where we want to go and the date. And so we've had them all over the country, a couple times in Canada, and I would say some groups they like to go to the southern states in the winter months, and we'll try to find usually either northern or type of a state or something like that during the summer months. They try to follow the good weather.
So they choose well. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
They
Uh,
do. They do choose well.
I think you talked, yeah, from a performance standpoint, the value of performance group. Talk to me a little bit about what maybe performance groups have meant to some franchisees, just kind of from a personal and professional standpoint.
Yeah, from a personal standpoint, they've found their friends essentially. I've got owners that they go on family trips together. Um, they'll go and visit their offices, take their kids with them, and they just kind of find their people, and it's others who can relate to the struggles that they're going to, help them celebrate the successes, and it really just kind of bonds them together personally uh, to create that type of friendship to where they feel like they can, go on family trips or I've had others invest together and buy a business together. I mean, it does create a super strong bond uh, personally and professionally because, again, as we've talked about, you're opening up everything to these other individuals, and it really I've seen them lean on each other a lot professionally outside of the performance group, the official performance group meetings. I've got one group, they've got a text chain and they text back and forth literally every single day, either asking questions, sharing ideas, or just hey, I saw this on your website, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, and congratulating them about a win.
Yeah. And that's, you join a franchise system to, have a community, and yet it's still, when you're running a business, it can be very lonely, sitting at the top of the organization with everybody depending on you, and nobody understands that like a fellow business owner. So I think it's such a cool thing. And there's a question that just came in. Can you provide some examples on how owners hold one another accountable on reaching goals or doing things that they said they're going to do?
Yeah, so um, the so we have a list essentially that they say here's what I'm going to do. We review it. We'll review it on the next calls and meetings, et cetera, et cetera. And, one of the easy ways that I've seen is another owner says, hey, you said you were going to do this the last two times, last two meetings. You either do it before the next meeting or you probably shouldn't come back. So there is a little bit of that. The other part is we'll see them, reach out again outside of the meetings. Hey, you said you wanted to do this. How can I help you do that? Or I've had other groups, so they call them buddy calls. And so they would just have a separate call and check-ins with other owners in the group to just make sure they're on track, see how they can help each other, those types of things. But really, I think where the accountability comes from is the level of respect that they have for each other, and just knowing that they don't want to fail somebody else. They don't want to come in and be embarrassed themselves. And, when they see everybody else doing what they say they're going to do, and, either whatever it is, they don't want to be the odd man out. And so that really, I think, drives a lot of the accountability. It might be a little unspoken, but I think that's what drives most of it.
And some of those examples again kind of reflect the different personalities of different groups, and folks respond to and challenge each other differently, and there's a place for everybody in a performance group that matches kind of how you like to hold accountability and drive accountability, but at the end of the day, that's what it's about, because that's how we move our businesses forward. There's a question here, you kind of alluded to it. Do franchisees ever leave or transfer to a different group? Do they change groups?
Yeah. I don't want to say it happens frequently, but it does happen. When you're joining a group, you do the interviews, you talk to people, and you have a good feeling about it. Then when you do a few meetings, this might not be the group for me. They're focused more on, we'll just say, recruiting or the employee side, where I've got that down. I need help with sales. And there's this other group that may be a little more sales focused, or, you can interchange that for a number of different topics. And so we do see a little bit of switching. It is really not that frequent. We do have some that, life changes, the business changes, situations change, and so they've dropped out for personal reasons. And then the obvious is, if you sell your business, you then exit your group, and then we have to bring in others to take that place.
Yeah, great. And one more question here, Daniel, just for clarity: is my performance group facilitator also my coach, or is it someone different?
Yep. Your performance group facilitator is your business coach.
Got it. So we're coming to the end of time. Anything else that you would like to share with somebody watching this about performance groups, or something that I didn't maybe ask about?
Yeah, I would say just performance groups really help an owner. As you had said, you're at the top of the organization and you don't have a peer. This provides you peers. Office staff, you have peers with each other. An owner doesn't have that peer. So a performance group allows you to have somebody who is your equal. Working with your business coach, we get really in depth with the business. But again, I'm not their peer. I'm not a business owner. And so while maybe some past experiences have allowed me to be able to, kind of get the same feeling, I'm not in this business every single day dealing with the exact same problems. So a performance group really allows you to find your peers, find a group of people that can help you grow your business, provide you ideas, solve problems, and really just achieve whatever goal you have set.
That's great, Daniel. Thank you for all your investment in our performance groups, along with your colleagues in the business performance coach group. And what a valuable asset. What a reason to join a franchise system, and specifically Right at Home. Thanks for everything that you do to support our owners, and thanks for the time today. For everybody out there, until next time, thank you for joining us for Tuesday Talks. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.